Morning, guys, and it's glorious. Today we're just going to walk through the garden. I want to show you everything that's going on because it's amazing. I am so intrigued about our weather pattern. Our winter and our spring has been so mild, and my plants have never experienced such a less stressful season. We've had just a couple light frosts, and I can only show you one plant that maybe had been nipped. But the rest is unbelievable. We're 2 to 3 weeks ahead of where we should be we're in Western West Virginia, zone 6B now. And it's great. I like it. And I know there's other gardeners out there who are saying, how do we garden? It's a new experience. I'm writing in my journal. Don't know what to do next. I've been hardening off all of my seedlings. And now do I plant them? Do I not? You're looking at the 10-day forecast and there's, still no frost, still no cold. They've got to get in the ground and everything's ready to go. It's an exciting time, but it's so new that you worry. Last night I worried that the deer came in, and I have all of my beautiful Maverick apple blossom geraniums are in bloom, and I have them down on the lower deck because I want to get them planted hopefully this week. And I dreamt that the deer came in and ate all the buds off. And that didn't happen. It's not going to happen. I have them protected and I've sprayed. But I've never planted annuals in April. I'll probably wait till May 1st, which is over the weekend to do it. Anyhow, let's get started. I want to show you how everything is doing. Let me show you how beautiful. I can show you the plants that are hardening, some that are up here, and they're doing great. I've got to get the zinnias in. But I have my geraniums that are in bloom. My fig tree came out a couple weeks ago, and this is where Ophelia, that's what I named her, which means thankful, and I talked to her, the woman that gave me her the other day, and she said, yes, treat her gently, feed her all you can, and take care of her, which I'm doing. But I've also gone through and I've been planting up some pots, and as we all do, we move things around. I had a couple little boxwood topiaries I put in my Speak No Evil guy. I had some vinca vine. But look at Ramona. I got this on sale last year at Walmart, like, I don't know, $2.50. Look at this wonderful bloom she has. So she'll bloom now and then bloom later in the summer, which thrills me. And this is my PG hydrangea, which will bloom later in the summer. I've talked about the gorgeous lilac tree, which is unfreaking believable. Never had it bloom. The weather's made the change, and look at all of the blooms for my blueberry. It's going to be great and full of blueberries this year. My Draper blueberry. Come on down here. I just want to show you the foliage on this hellebore. And hellebores, as you know, they bloom. Here's some of the spent blooms. It started blooming in late January, 1st February. But what you'll love is, now that it's in the shade of the arb here, look at the foliage. It'll be this beautiful all season long. And I have 3, 4 throughout the garden. And that's the other thing about the hellebores. They give you such gorgeous foliage through the season. So it's pretty cool, and this is Carnaby, full of buds, getting ready to bloom. Again, another class 2. Those buds will be out if the weather is going to stay like this for the next few weeks. It'll bloom early and then again in the summer.
Yeah, look at all the buds on your peonies too.
Oh, I know. The peonies are budded up, and I've never had peonies until Memorial Day, but I bet we see blooms before Memorial Day. The good thing about peonies, and I've shown you that, is you can cut them when they're at a certain stage, put them in your refrigerator, and they can last up to 4 weeks, if not longer. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But there's my apple blossom geraniums. Look at the blooms on those suckers. So they've got to get put up in their containers, and they will. The other exciting thing that happened, this is my lace leaf Japanese maple sapling that I dug out below the rock wall where the window is. I've been watching it for 2 or 3 years, and I dug it out. Didn't know if it was in the wall or not, and you'll see I have a great root system on it. Isn't it wonderful to know I have a whole nother plant? And it'll live in this pot for several years because it's just a sapling. You can see how tiny it is. It can't be more than 3 years old, and but it didn't go through any shock, and it looks great, I think. So let's head down to the shade garden and the willow tree. I just love it. And I look at these ostrich ferns. I keep going on and on and on how things have never been this way before. And these ostrich ferns have been here for over 20 years. But I've never seen them, what would you say, 3.5 feet, 4 feet? I'm 5'4", so.
You like to think you're that
Yeah,
tall.
I'm 5'2". But I look at the border. It's joy. It just looks so bright from the deck.
From the deck, this is
a focal
very
point.
attractive area.
It is. It is. I love it. I love it. I love it. You saw where I just planted my pulmonaria spot on over there. I love the color. But, you know, the star right here is the sea heart runner-up and the hostas. These blue, beautiful forget-me-not-like black flowers are gorgeous. And I, you know, I have loved that little spot of heuchera in that hanging basket. You just can't beat it for a pop of color. Although I think these ferns may cover it up.
Cover everything up.
I mean, they're covering everything up. And the hostas, oh, look at the little white violets. Yeah, this is where they pop, in those gardens along the edge of the stone wall. And someone had a question about, is this sinking? This paver, no. These stones were laid just on soil, not on top of a
base.
A base of any
or anything,
kind.
yeah, right.
And those are roots of this huge willow tree. I feel it hasn't sunk, it hasn't changed. It's a very stable surface so far, but it's a very rustic looking, and that's what I wanted. As we come around here, my Solomon seal, look at the variegation on this. Oh my gosh. And its blooms. It just picks up on the white from the
You know what
violets.
I've noticed, Teresa?
What?
Is how big these hostas
Because they haven't.
look. I mean, they are huge.
They're huge. They haven't been frosted back 3 times. I have said this before. We've never had a winter or spring where I haven't had to cover 3 to 4 times with frost covering, and it makes such a difference. I've never been able to garden and see everything look so lush this time of year. And my rose, this is my
Jack. Is it Jack?
no, shoot, I'll think of it. A beautiful pink rose and full of buds, not frosted. This didn't have, once I get to the iceberg rose, we'll talk about that. I have gone in and I've trimmed my hedge here, my boxwood hedge, which has been really nice to get that done. It looks nice, and I like that formal border back here. Everything I've planted in here, the lamian just adds that color.
What's this on the front here?
This is lamian, dead
It is
nettle.
beautiful.
Yeah, and
It brings a lot of light in there, plus a little bit of that purple color is nice.
and then I repeated what I did in that pot, dug up hostas, ferns, and put in
Another heuchera.
another heuchera. And I think it really makes your eye, if you're walking through here, you draw up your eye to see this beautiful color, and it brings out the gorgeous purples in your painted ferns. A little ivy there. Back in the back, of course, is Jackmanii, which is a summer blooming deep purple. Clematis, and then I have some anemones that'll bloom later in the fall. Oh, and look at this sweet little columbine. They're coming up everywhere, and I love the purple color for back in here. They come up, reseed. They're
I
wonderful.
say, did you plant that?
I don't think so. It
I
probably
don't
was.
think so.
You don't, you know, maybe a bird left it there. I have gone on this bed. I love my lamb's ear, and I did divide some from the large perennial border and planted it. I was at the deck. I think, why didn't I keep it curved clear through here? So I've added that. But I also want to tell you that check your roses for aphids. This is my white iceberg rose, and
Didn't
I
you
came
spray
in.
the other day?
I sprayed the other day, and I don't see any new signs. Well, maybe. But I will spray once a week. But again, it didn't get frosted, full of buds, and behind it is sweet Ramona. A lovely down-facing purple bloom clematis. That just looks so romantic against the wall with the white roses when they're in bloom. Something that I did too, if you have a compost pile, you want to be turning it now that it's warmed up. And I'm so proud of this. Look how neat and clean. I spent a half a day moving the old compost to here, and I've used a lot of compost. And then this is the new one that's composting. So get in your compost
You're
pile.
still using the compost
Yeah, I
starter
am.
from Espoma?
I love it. It's made such a difference. I mean, it's, if I dig in here, even with my hand,
No, it'll get.
well, I've got to show. Look at that. I mean, there's a banana peel, but that's composting. For a small garden like I have, the sooner it can compost, the better. And I used to just take it, 2 years. But boy, it's nice to have that. I did plant my morning glories. They were hardened off and ready to go. The morning glories,
They'll take over.
they'll take
yeah.
over, and it just looks beautiful.
Especially with this weather.
It softens this whole edge for my neighbor and for me. So and I did plant cilantro. It's coming up. Swiss chard is coming up. 'Tis the season. This is
Look at
another.
the size of that garlic stalk.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be good.
Looks
That's
like
a hardneck.
corn.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how that does. Better than last year. And Sarah Elizabeth, she is also an
Well,
early
that's
springer and a
A
late.
sturdy plant, though. It's
Yeah.
been there for years.
Great for cutting for bouquets. So let's go on over to the perennial sunny border. Look at this, the alliums. They are
One of my favorite plants, and I can't tell you how many little watercolors I've done with allium based, with those as a inspiration.
And I love how the purple alliums look against his purple trees that are done on barn metal roofing. Love my purple trees. And of course, the punch of color from the white irises that are coming up and in bloom. I can also see my foxgloves are coming up, and
What did you tell me the other day about the irises? That this is the first year they've bloomed?
well, they haven't been frosted. They may have budded up too soon in the years past, and I might get 1 or 2 blooms, or these top ones may have gotten frosted even though I'd cover them. But again, everything is doing what I want. And back here, there's a pathway of foxgloves that will be gorgeous when they come completely up and fill this border within. They're all over the place. I look forward to those. And the other thing is, you can see the columbine are coming up everywhere.
Let me get up there, huh?
Okay. They're popping up in the back against the fence, which looks pretty, within the irises. The other thing, if your tulips are full through blooming, you want to cut those before they go to form their seed heads, so that all that energy goes into their bulbs. While I'm here, I'll just do that to mine. You can go clear down and cut them off. Also, this is a beautiful
It's kind of a peachy orange.
it's a peachy orange color, and it's scented. And that was given to me by a gentleman that I used to weed his gardens for. He was a wonderful man, taught me a lot. We've also replaced the old chandelier that was falling apart, which I love.
My Goodwill find.
Your Goodwill find. Reggie's the best. Oh, and this iris has never bloomed. Don't know the name of it. Don't have a tag.
That's a
It's
pretty
supposed
yellow.
to be a repeat bloomer. Look at the yellow and the white ruffled edge. So that is lovely. Never had one of those before. My little sweet Bonica shrub rose.
Thank
It came to
you.
me.
Thank you. Finally
We've
came
had
to us.
this rose everywhere, from the front of the border in the house to down in the garden, and it has to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's one of the first things we planted in the front of the yard.
Yeah.
It gets beautiful pink roses, sweet, stays compact. I can't believe how it's still, flourishing, but it is. And then as
Oh,
we,
the corner over here
Yeah.
really has a lot of color.
it does. The best thing I ever
This
did.
is, it was. I tell you, this is one of the better moves you made this year.
One of the better moves I've made in a long time. Change is hard
Besides
for me.
marrying me, but
Besides and that's the truth. We work well together, but change is hard for me. And once I did it, it's like, come on, people. Now, this is the one plant that took a little frost to it. And but the rest have all done great. That's the only plant that suffered a little bit of a nip when last week we had a little frost one night. And this little fern, my arborvitae fern.
Arborvitae fern.
Arborvitae fern, doing great. Love this corner. It's such a bright spot in the day.
Well, the way you've shaped it too.
Yeah. And you know, I love the border of the ajuga. Whether it's in bloom or not, it just adds a nice texture. But when it's in bloom, it's, you know.
Do the ajuga foliage, it changes color?
Yeah, it gets a little more coppery. The one I have, and I can't think of the name of it right now, it gets more chocolate in color and coppery in color. It
Once
goes
the
from
blooms
green,
are
so
gone,
it
yeah.
gives you a little texture. And then, of course, you know, the lace leaf maple. and
That
the
thing
palm.
has taken off this year.
It's taken off. I need to get in there perhaps and thin it out like I do about every year. But that won't happen today. And then of course the last thing is this sweet little border here, which there's yarrow, the alliums. My rose campion is going to come up with its pretty purpley pink bloom, and I planted on the other side some seedlings that should show. These are white irises. Gosh, yellow forget-me-nots, yellow buttercups. And then, you know, we wait for the display of the daylilies, but my little seedlings, yep, they look like they've doubled in size. This weather is freaking unbelievable. But that is the end of April in this garden, and I am excited. I know it comes out in my voice, but we all are. And, you know, we just have to stay in the present moment and get the joy out of it that I'm getting, and see how the summer progresses. So thanks for watching Gardening on the West Fork, Zone 6B in Weston, West Virginia. And have fun today. We'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.